Okay, so I can't do the voices for shit, so bear with me here. Test tube, what do you have over there? Oh, I just found this random Metal Gear lying around.
Did someone say Metal Gear?
No one hears the word they say. Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Not a word they say, but a voiceless crowd isn't backing down.
Okay, I know I said in my channel description I wouldn't do an Inanimate retrospective until I hit 1,000 subscribers. I kind of lied.
Inanimate is an object show that came out in 2011. It's been very heavily inspired by BFDI. It has a total of 3 seasons, and I'm gonna do a retrospective on it because fuck you, that's why. Although I'll say this, Inanimate Insanity is better than BFDI. Don't take this as slander, I like BFDI, I just think Inanimate Insanity is a little better.
Also, doing a retrospective on the show is gonna be pretty funny because the show's tone will be going from this.
On track. If you noticed, there are 2 large lemon trees behind all of you.
Hey, I found our tree. Get off my benches, you other turd.
I'm an apple tree, so just off.
To this.
See, MePhone didn't just make the show. He made you.
We're gonna be taking a look through the entirety of Season 1, Season 2 up to Episode 14, Season 3, and the rest of Season 2. We're gonna ask the question, is it truly like Metal Gear Solid 2?
No, that is not Solid Snake.
Season 1 of Inanimate Insanity is Season 1 of Inanimate Insanity. It's not really the greatest thing, but it has its charm. And it's also kind of the weakest season up to this point. That's by default. That's not really a bad season. I mean, 1, because it's kind of funny.
I'll never fall.
And 2, because the characters are overall decent. Speaking of the characters, wow, they are jarringly different here. I mean, I know it's to be expected, but I mean, like, Balloon was an asshole. And also, like, reused a lot of lines. People on Marshmallow were enemies at one point. Now they're lovers. Nobody knew what Paintbrush's gender was. Taco, while pretending to be an idiot, was still also just kind of an idiot. MePhone at one point was voiced by fucking Chris McLean. These kids were like in middle school by the time the show first came out.
And this is Inanimate Insanity!
Lightbulb was a boy at one point until like episode 3. So yes, she's our transgender icon. As for Nickel...
Ow. Ow. Sorry, dude. I just couldn't hold that one in.
What did Adam mean by this? There's a massive complaint, and that's mainly by the first 2 episodes. It's the animation. It's really rough. Everyone's mouths are all fucking upside down. It did get way better later on, like by episode 3. I mean, it's not as good as BFDI's animation, but you know, it still looks better. It took up to near the end of the show for the animation to actually look something like BFDI, kind of. Still don't know why it took so long for it to be in HD. I guess I might as well mention my favorites and least favorite characters. Then I'll mention my least favorite and favorite episode. Which honestly, this show in general doesn't really have a bad character. Except Salt and Pepper, yeah, they suck. These kind of feel like more of a worse Match and Pencil. Don't get me wrong, I like Match and Pencil, but I just think there's worse versions of them. As for my favorites, that being Paper, a character who was unfairly eliminated in the first episode, with him having an alternate personality that makes him evil when someone mentions Idiotic Island. He's also OJ's lover. Truly, this is Yahweh. My other favorite character is Bo. Because it's fucking Bo. She just casually joins the show with no elaboration and becomes the best part in any episode she's in. It's also the fact that she's really funny and she likes chairs. You know what? Yeah, chairs are pretty cool. Now that we're here, let's talk about the worst and best episodes. By default, the worst episode is just the first episode. Not that it's awful or anything, but it's the first episode. Clearly they're just starting their own grip. Also, side note, what the fuck is up with Salt's voice?
I'm sorry, Pepper, but there is no way that I am doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck is over that echo filter? Something I actually really liked about this episode was the MePhone voice. Again, Chris McLean, still pretty funny to this day. My favorite episode is, no duh, the 2-parter finale. Not only was it a nice culmination of the series up to this point, it was also nice seeing MePhone 4S, a guy who killed MePhone, coming back to help him. Where he's meant to be parodying Arnold from Terminator. I don't know what the actual robot's name is. Although he sounds more like Big John. If you'd like to know what I mean by that, please play Dusk, that one Rise of the Triad remake and Ultra Killed. You'll get the joke someday. Also, the reveal of Taco being British was definitely a nice twist.
This is all wrong. I was built to win. My plan was perfect.
So Mifo Forest was the goat for sacrificing himself for Mifone.
Ow! What happened?
Inanimate Insanity Season 1 is still Inanimate Insanity Season 1.
But still a pretty good season that still has charm. This season also more got a remaster, which I might as well talk about right now. As I'm recording this, the Season 1 remaster only has 1 episode. And that's fine. I mean, it's pretty hard to capture the charm of the original, so I guess it... Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck is this guy?
Doesn't matter because Mifone 4 publicly executes him. He also has his voice very deep for like the first few seconds of the video. Kind of a shame I never got the voice actor of Chris McLean back. Oh. They also got rid of the elephant shit. Truly devastating. Other than those, it's just truly much the same as the original. Just a lot better. I have no idea how long they're gonna do this though. Maybe just the first 2 episodes because it's not the only piece of Inanimate Insanity content we're getting. But who knows. Anyways, let's get to Season 2.
Well, wait, as I'm writing this, episode 2 of the remaster just came out. They took away Nickel shitting on baseball.
This is like George Orwell's book, 1984.
No, the stark contrast between season 1 and 2 is like fucking night and day. Go from a pretty simple but basic first season
to an absolute peak experience. Like honestly, everything about the season's a massive improvement. I guess let's start with the animation because it's such a massive improvement too. Animation is pretty good during the start of season 2. I mean, at least no one's mouths are upside down. Along with some wacky faces. But as time goes on, it looks a lot more better. Although apologies for the resolution. Like, this is the best way I can find all the episodes without having to download them all one by one. I also like what they do with the characters. Let's start with the newer characters and then go to the original characters.
First up is Tissues, and I mean, he's Tissues.
He's known for his condition. He's also apparently based off a real person. What did Adam mean by this?
Next up is Cherry. He's probably my least favorite character in the season. Just like Tissues, they don't really do much. But I mean, and I can say they're not really a bad character compared to Salt and Pepper. Trophy is another character who they want to do something a lot more with. He's also the jerk character, so he got out pretty early. Oh, so yes, if you're wondering, this dude does have like 4,000 simps. There's also Yin Yang, which I won't lie, he really was a bit annoying in this season. Don't worry, they got way better the next season. But for now, they were kind of annoying. I will say this, they are kind of a part of the most iconic episode of the series, which was episode 3. There's also Box, which I won't lie, the shit that happens to her kind of fucked up now with the finale being a thing. I'll talk about that when I head to the finale. But before that, yeah, I think it's just a cardboard box that's it. There's also Doe, Bo's replacement. He dies in the very same episode he's introduced in. Don't worry, he has a lot more importance later on. There's also Cheesy. Who's Cheesy?
Now as for the newer characters going forward, they're a lot more better than the ones I've already mentioned. Especially the 2 co-hosts this season, Meatpad and Toilet. It's honestly kind of impressive that Toilet specifically never actually got on my nerves. I actually kind of liked him a bit. Meatpad's also pretty cool. I like him for being a little bit more down to earth. He also sees him and Toilet as more of equals, which is honestly nice.
Next up is Soap, and my god, was she a character I was truly mixed on. Like, when I first watched the show, I absolutely did not like Soap. She was my least favorite character there. I was just find her cleaning stick just extremely annoying, and was also part of the reason why I did not like episode 4 that much. Looking back on it, yeah, no, she was still very bad in episode 4. And only episode 4, because she got a lot better over time. She also sings the song Keep On Cleaning. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that Inanimate Insanity has songs, but you know, I'm gonna be honest, they're all bangers, so. Next up is Mike, and Mike doesn't really do much, but she's still a very good character. Well, that was until she meets...
Is to help.
Hello, this is Matthew's mother and legal guardian. You will desist in contacting my son and having any...
We done? I have no intention of going deaf today.
Yeah, that's right, Taco's back, bitches.
But I'll mention her when I get to episode 15. Microphone is a pretty entertaining character. I mean, just like everyone else here. She also likes to be very fucking loud. Next up is the nerdy test tube. I mean, if you couldn't guess what I said, and especially what you're looking at the footage here, she's pretty nerdy. She's also married to Fan. Do you guys think she's a fan of Otacon from Metal Gear Solid?
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Speaking of Fan, he's the next character we're taking a look at, who's also a fan of Inanimate Insanity. Get it? He also happens to raise this egg throughout the entire show, and we later come to learn it's from the Light Shimmers. Also, side note, I really like the Shimmers design. They look pretty cool, but I also want to know, how the fuck do they reproduce?
Last of the new contestants is Suitcase. More of the nice, sweet, wholesome character. That is until episode 9, where she develops schizophrenia. Don't take that as the wrong way, she's still a nice character.
Episode 10 onwards, she starts seeing things that are only really in her mind. She also gets a really deep voice by the end of the show.
Hi, I'm sorry Knife was so mean to you, but I'll join your alliance.
I did kill him, so where's my money?
No, I'm just gonna say it. Suitcase trans mask confirmed.
Speaking of transition, this trends over to me talking about the older characters and how much they've pretty much improved since season 1. Funny enough, starting with Nickel. He's an asshole this season.
Like, a massive asshole. Forms an alliance with Baseball and Suitcase. It's basically mean to Suitcase and Balloon. Next up is Baseball. Honestly, it's kind of nice to see him here. Never really did much in season 2, so it was nice for his character to simply, be better. He mostly does try to keep the team together, as well as his alliance. Also becomes extremely pissy after Nickel gets eliminated for like 1 episode. Bro, that shit ain't that serious, dog. Next up is Paintbrush. Was a lot better this season. Just like everyone else, they're a lot more better this season. That being, they're trying to keep everyone in check, especially their girlfriend Lightbulb. They also have anger issues now, and their fucking hair can go on fire. Okay, like, side note, first watched this episode all the way back in 2018, episode 12. Didn't know Paintbrush's gender. Well, I mean, no one really did up to that point. Episode 12 was the episode where it was revealed that they were non-binary, or the letter C. And I didn't know what the fuck a non-binary is, so I was still wondering if they were a boy and girl. It took me until a couple years later to figure out what non-binary is, to make me realize, oh wait, they are non-binary. So, about Lightbulb. Lightbulb is a bit more goofier, but you know what? Let her be goofy. He's mostly remained unchanged. It's not really a bad thing.
Next up is Knife.
Throughout the entirety of the season, he's still kind of a jerk, but has a bit of empathy. He doesn't start killing Marshmallow every second. Also finds out that Microphone is working with Taco. Her and Taco try to convince him to join, but unfortunately fail.
Next up is Marshmallow and Apple, who really do become enemies to lovers.
However, they start having a giant breakup in episode 6. Bo, who's a ghost now, possesses Apple to say shit for her. And after Bo tells this to her and has a pretty good song number about it too. After this, Marshmallow gets back with Apple and start a polyamorous relationship with Bo. I'm gonna be really honest, probably these two are the weakest part about the season. Don't get me wrong, they're both really great characters here. Again, way better than their season 2 counterparts.
Sure, Marshmallow may have the time of just wanting to get out of the show. Nothing much really happens from it. And as for Apple, she's pretty much the same as she ever was.
I know, Bo is really great this season. She has not lost her touch whatsoever.
I'm so gonna share them.
Last of the returning characters I want to mention is Balloon. And he is the best of the returning characters. I mean, firstly, he has more than 6 lines. Actually has a lot more to say. He also, as a person, is generally trying to be better. Not just be the giant dickhead he was in season 1. He develops a friendship with Suitcase, and that's sweet. Despite him wanting to change for the better, people don't want to really accept him for it. I like the scene in episode 9 where he talks to OJ. That's always been one of my favorite scenes of the show. He is also way better in season 3, and he's already really good in season 2, so I don't mind.
That's all really the characters I want to mention for now. Again, season 2 does a very great job at developing everybody. You get some of the new guys actually feel like fleshed out characters, and returning characters feel better than they were in season 1. Even Mifune becomes more three-dimensional in the show. Discuss that more when we get to the finale and the season 3 part. Now, as for my favorite and least favorite episodes, my actual favorite episode of the season and the entire show is all the way in the finale. I don't want to discuss that until later on, so discuss one of my favorites, episode 14. It supposedly takes place a few hours after the last challenge. You see Fan again, the reveal of the Shimmers was also pretty cool. S2, Mike, and Taco were pretty much the giant highlights of the episode. This scene is really funny.
You did it. You all did it. The secret is out and in your hearts. Take it. Take everything in the lab.
The scenes with Mifune and Maypad are pretty great. The scene where Fan's talking to the Shimmers is also pretty great. I can go on. It's a fantastic episode. My favorite episode was episode 2 though. I mean, like, come on, just kind of feels boring. The only good things about it was seeing Meepad for the first time, the introduction of the egg from the Shimmers, the start of Apple and Marshmallow's friendship, but that's really it. Yeah. Now, obviously, yeah, I'm skipping the last 4 episodes if you know what you know, just for an obvious plot reason. I feel like it would be a lot more better to talk about them individually. So yeah, I feel like a problem is that it would cause a bit of whiplash when I talk about season 3, so let's get to season 3.
Why did you invite us on an all all-expense-paid trip.
Balloon, if I organized this trip, the attendee list would have been radically different.
Okay, now we're into season 3, and yeah, I will admit it's pretty odd to start season 3 before you end season 2, but I don't know, I'm not the fucking creators. But yeah, anyway, season 3 is pretty good. Not as good as season 2, but still a decent season. I also like the new animation style they got for exclusively this season. It's very different, and I like it for being that. Now, just like last time, I'm gonna start talking about the newer characters and then talk about the older characters. Although I do have my gripes with some of the older characters, it's just mainly everyone who appeared in Season 2, as well as the contestants that both appeared in Season 1 and 2. The only Season 1 contestant that never came to Season 2 is OJ, and it's kind of a shame, really. It would have been nice seeing characters like Paper or Pickle or Bomb again. That would have been cool. Again, I'll talk about them more later.
Also, I had nowhere else to mention this, but this is the first time they've actually had a YouTuber cameo in this season. It was fucking Saberspark,
new cartoon
which
crush unlocked.
aged insanely poorly. I had no other reason to say this, but I just want to say fuck Black Griffin and also fuck Saberspark while we're at it.
First up is Barry, and he's kind of boring. When he does rejoin and gets eliminated in the next episode, he is slightly better. But still, he's just a very, very boring character. It's just all doesn't matter and all that shit. Except his life ring, and yeah, he's okay too. He's more trying to put everyone up to safety and being the leader of the team, and yeah, that's kind of it. This is Tea Kettle. He's the mama of the team, and has some rivalry with Nickel, and that's it. Now on to actually good characters. We have Clover, who was lucky. Too lucky, in fact. Very lucky. Now that gives her a lot of entertaining bits, though. He also has a rivalry with Nickel, and a better one at that. I also like the body swap episode where she realized she lost her luck, and it was like 15 different 9/11s to her. Next up is Goo, and you know what? I like this little bastard. He's so fucking adorable. He's more of a cute character, and a cute character done right. Take your notes, Grassy. I love the cute relationship he forms with Bod. It's adorable. Next, it's Candle.
She's one of the more calmer characters, usually into meditating. She also has psychic powers, which is really awesome. She also wants to fuck Silver Spoon, and oh yeah, by the way, Silver Spoon's the next character on here. Silver Spoon is British, and surprisingly never got on my nerves. He was very conniving and scheming, mainly using eliminations like one of OJ and the one of Flory. But again, he has also no right to be super funny. Also surprising how he managed to get to the final 3, like he actually had a chance of winning.
Next is the Floor. Yeah, the Floor is a literal contestant. Well, he wasn't an actual contestant until he became a co-host. He's charming, he's funny, I like him. Especially he got really better once he became a co-host. Although his best episode was definitely the episode after he got eliminated. Like, motherfucker refused to leave. He refused to leave so hard he wanted to fucking publicly execute everyone on there. But he's definitely such a pretty interesting character. I was surprised I wasn't bored of him. Next up is my favorite character, Bod, who was meant to be more of a robotic version of Bo. When I first watched the first episode of the 3rd season, and seeing Bo alive was like, that shit kinda caught me off guard.
Though anything mentioning about chairs and marshmallow kinda makes them a little blurry. Until...
When I attempted to read your friend's aura, I faced a complication. Something was wrong.
What do you mean?
Goo. She has no aura.
Their aura is in the negative digits, Goo. Okay, I will say this. The more built up and, you know, before we actually see the reveal is kind of weak because we know Bo's and Ghost. This is everything else that was great about Bod. Now, it doesn't take an actual fan and favorite character, but instead of just ruining that character, they make a whole new character out of it. So the reason why they were made, though, was because Testtube and Fan couldn't cope about the fucking fact that Bo was dead, so they had to make a new one. Which, yeah, a bit fucked up, but hey. However, as time goes on, they become their own person. Lose Bo's old voice, Bach goes by non-binary, making them the second non-binary character. They're also more grayish and green, which is a nod to the egg that Fan and Testtube raised, which was cute. So yeah, they're one of my favorite characters. They are also a Metal Gear Solid fan, because fuck you, that's why. Finally, we have the season winner, Cabby. She is also my second favorite character in the entire show. She starts out having a lot of files that she needs to remember stuff. Like, did Bod really play Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge? Okay, context that Metal Gear 2 was like some fucking game made for the NES. and it was not made by Hideo Kojima's knowledge, and Hideo Kojima didn't even know it until like a coworker from a train ride told him about it, and it was like, that was the reason why there was an actually official sequel made by him. That's a real story, by the way. This is also the second time I mentioned Bot playing Metal Gear. I'm going to keep this headcanon until the day I fucking die.
Anyways, probably one of my favorite scenes of her was her elimination, actually. She's someone who she can very much put her trust on someone else. Seeing test tube someone who she put a lot of trust into be the reason she's eliminated is very heartbreaking. She then comes back in the season and pulls a karma bitch on her.
Say this, Cappy, who struggles with memory sometimes, literally me. Also say this, I did not expect her to actually win the season. Who knew her rejoin actually mattered, but you know what? I don't care, she was such a great character. So yeah, the newbies are pretty cool. Now let's talk about the contestants from the season 1 and 2.
So the returning contestants is Fan, and yeah, I kind of forgot he's here. He's here in the first 2 episodes and then the finale. His presence barely mattered and he couldn't have been swapped out with anyone else. So there's Box. The only contestant that never appeared in season 2 is, well, OJ. OJ was mostly the same for the time we seen him in season 2 and also in season 1. Pretty level-headed. Next up is Paintbrush, who quite casually pulls this line.
He wants to make a boys club. Stay out of my brain journal.
I'm non-binary.
I mean, anti-girl club.
Also, by episode 10 onwards, they get a new voice actor, which is Jazzy Oliver, if you're wondering.
But our team is being held together, and that's what counts.
Yeah, or OJ still managing me like we're back at the hotel.
Mostly the same person as they were in season 2, which is not a bad thing. Next up is Test Tube. She is mostly the same during the season, just like everyone else. There's a few interesting things going with her. Her beef with her and Cabby, and also the involvement of Bot. Fuck it, I say the one with Bot is definitely the best episode of her. The conversation between her and Bot is genuinely heartwarming. It's Test Tube realizing that she can't really bring Bo back, and making her a robot would just be stupid. Also again, a bit fucked up to make a robot replica of somebody who didn't know you. Next up is Ying, a character that got really better over time. They went throughout most of the scenes to argue with themselves to be legitimately the best character of the season. They were such a fan favorite, in fact, they had to pretty much ditch an entire voting system because of him. Okay, so they had this viewer voting system where if the contestant got the most votes, they'd be immune. Ying, however, got the most votes. 6 times! So they had to drop that shit, just because one character got the most votes. I mean, Yin Yang's a good character, but Jesus. The last 2 characters is Balloon and Nickel, and I'll start with Balloon. Well, he's starting to get to the point where people are starting to accept him more and, you know, let the past be the past. He also was in the team with Nickel for the first few episodes. These two eventually start forming a bond, but then, whoa, their friendship starts being questioned. I do think it was nice for these 2 characters that had beef actually more make up and, you know, make out. Especially Nickel, who just kind of became less jerkish over time. All it took was these 2 being on the same team each other, which is funny. So yeah, I actually think the characters in season 3, both the old and new ones, are definitely pretty good. Now after all of that said and done, let's talk about my favorite and least favorite episodes.
My least favorite episode on here is obviously the second episode. I just think this one's really boring.
Oh no, I feel like I always just sleep through this one.
Also, come on, the idea of a team naming as for a challenge, that sucks, honestly. And why did it take after the second episode? I'm not fucking know why. My favorite episode is obviously episode 20. The chaos with Ying Yang and Silver Spoon, the character development of Nickel and Balloony, the other character development with Bot and Cabby, and also Springy, he's cool. I also really like his design, he just looks so out of place compared to everyone else in the show. The only flaw of the episode is the fact Bot gets eliminated. That was my truly personal 9/11. The finale with Walkie Talkie, and yeah, Walkie Talkie's a character. The finale was pretty decent though. Just saying, Springy's the better villain. And that's season 3. Not as good as season 2, but still good on its own. But we still have 4 more episodes of season 2 left, and yeah, you're gonna miss this more positive tone. Yeah. And just like that, we're back to season 2. I like this episode. It's nice returning to a season we haven't seen in like 4 years. It really does feel natural. Like the mention of season 3 is just barely here. Highlight of this episode is Taco easily. She is so fucking good in this episode. Mainly the song number, probably the best one in the series by this point. She also captured me pad. I kind of forgot to mention that. Also uses Truth or Dare to pressure the contestants because she's no longer after the million. She just simply wants them to leave, which fails horribly. She also fucking dies by the ability of pressure, damn. Also, Baseball and Lightbulb get eliminated in this episode, which means Suitcase and Knife are the final 2, which is very interesting. Yeah, sorry I'm rushing a bit through this episode. I kind of want to get to the 3-parter because Why not? Let's do it.
Now we're finally to the finale. And man, things are getting tense with Trophy and Knife. I was at a scene with Suitcase and Balloon, where Balloon explains how Nickel just owned up to all of his mistakes. I love how Suitcase is just in fucking disbelief, like, what the hell? Also, it was cool seeing Cabby, Candle, and Goo here too. That was nice. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Steve Cobson's trying to call me phone for some reason. I wonder why. I was looking at a scene with Pickle and Taco, and I like this scene a lot. It's Taco coming to the genuine realization she fucked up the two people that were willing to help her. And despite apologizing, Pickle just says, nah bro, fuck you. It's generally fantastic, and it feels like trying to evolve Taco. Oh shit! Looks like Cobbs isn't fucking around this time. He's going to commit public executions. Now the final challenge for Knife and Suitcase is to kick Cobbs' ass, with Cobbs having a banging song number along with that too. While we're at it, Cobbs knifes OJ Nickel. It was also cool seeing the mansion again, along with Bo, Doe, Marshmallow, and Apple. Also, Bo especially sounds like the eggs from earlier. Also see one of the Me Phones from Me Phone 4's flashback. I'll touch on that later. We also have Baseball and Lightbulb trying to calm everyone down. Man, a lot of shit is happening right now. I wonder what it's gonna lead up to. Oh shit, it's Cobbs. Maybe he'll try to explain everything.
See, Me Phone didn't just make the show. He made you.
Huh?
Yeah, everything since the very first episode of the very first season was all fake. I should tell you, this is one of the most you had to be there kind of moments I've ever seen in the OSC. Like, holy shit. And this was a plot point they've been building up for 9 fucking years, which is impressive how I managed to all just build up and not just, you know, fall on its face. Shit like characters glitching out, or stuff like Cabby not remembering her parents, was pretty much basic hint of foreshadowing. And I should remind you, again, 8 years, that's impressive for a plot twist. Also, seeing everyone's reactions to it is just generally just shocking. A lot of them just questioning themselves, which is pretty cool. Also, the first part showed that there were 2 eggs missing. One of them was at the moon in episode 2, which is the green one. And as for the pink one, it's part of Me Phone 4. Does this mean Cobbs is a child murderer? Come on, I'm just throwing the joke around here. This episode's depressing, and I love it. Also, when we see the scene where everyone gets deleted, it's surprisingly disturbing. Who knew Toilet's victory rails would come to this?
Let's go, Headshot!
I've also not mentioned Cobbs. Despite only appearing 2 episodes before the finale, he really leaves one hell of an impression. He's generally just a giant asshole to pretty much everyone he meets. Man, no wonder his parents don't really talk to him, am I right, fellas? And there's the ending of the episode. Oh my god, don't get me started on it. It is just depressing. I remember some people usually thought this was gonna be the last episode, like the end of the series. Like, this is it. And then there's also stupid people that think this should also be the last episode. Yeah, you might be asking, where the hell do you go from there? Well, let's find out. Well, here we go. Without a doubt, my favorite episode of the entire series, the finale. And you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna give you a giant rundown of it. After a song coming on. And then here comes the Shimmers. Oh no! We get the confirmation that yes, everyone's alive, but they're stuck inside Me Phone. Springy also fucking dies. The reveal that Box was actually alive and stuck inside Me Phone all this time, and was actually meant to be a proto-suitcase, recontextualizes a lot from the show, especially Box's appearance is like, holy fuck. It's also cool to see Me Phone 4S again. I like his appearance here more than the one in season 3. Box's backstory was depressing, and again, it recontextualizes what was originally just a joke character. Seeing Bo, Doe, and Meepad coming to stop Cobbs is cool. Also, yeah, for some reason, Cobbs does have a fucking sword. Where you get that, I don't know, but it's cool. And then, Paper and OG Yahweh become fucking real.
Uses the same letters.
I love it.
Oh yeah, walkie-talkies here too, but no one really cares. And then Suki's like, you know what, I may be not real, but fuck that, we're getting the hell out of here.
I don't care. Whatever I've been through, everything I felt has been real. To me. and I'm getting myself and all my fake friends out of here!
So good to see what happened to the egg. It's now a cell now, which makes fans' theory right. And I love the scene where Mifune finds out all of his contestants are alive. It's just so sweet, man. This is a race. Touch the red line, you fucking die. If you touch the finish line, you end up escaping. Although there's a lot of visions to see there, yeah. Stakes are now higher than ever. Pat ends up getting stabbed and dies. Oh my god, my goat.
This is a sad day for Handsome Tom.
I also like the scene in the race. It's so fantastic. Characters you never thought would help each other start to help each other, like soap and tissues, and that's it. I also like the scene of Knife helping Marshmallow. Despite all the times he's killed her, he's going to die for her, and that's just so poetic. And then everyone comes back. Uh-oh, Cobbs has the egg.
No! Someone stop him! After him!
Oh, now this is rich! Even after everything you've been through, I've still won, because I have this! Clearly it's only grown in power over the years. I don't remember it blinking.
Oh, maybe that's because it doesn't.
Classic Cobbs died by the good old switcheroo. Oh yeah, Knife is dead. He's now a ghost. Huh. So yes, Suitcase is the winner of the season because of her goat status. I also feel like it's a nice conclusion to Mifune. For a long time, Inanimate Sanity felt like a rebellion against Cobbs, but in a way it still felt like he was doing it for him. But now he's gone, and he can finally let the contestants live freely. You know what else happens? You know what else fucking happens? Bob makes an appearance. Where the hell have they been throughout the entirety of this three-parter? Hey Bob, where were you during the whole thing with Cobbs? Holy shit, is that fucking Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 3 and 5? Hello, Boss from Inanimate Sanity. Welcome to Outer Heaven. Let's just say I met the man who sold the world.
It's like the scene where he meets Mifune 3GS again. It's adorable.
They also end off season 2 with a musical number. Is it corny as fuck? Yes. Is it a great way to end off the season? Also yes. Overall, this is my favorite episode, period. If Inanimate Sanity wasn't confirmed for season 4, I think the show would have been fine ending off here. But you know what? It doesn't take away from it. It's still the best episode of the show, period. And that was the entirety of Inanimate Sanity. And damn, what a ride it's been. A huge loads of highs. Inanimate Sanity is a show that, well sure, being an object show, genuinely is some of the best I've seen in a long time. More feels like it genuinely got better and better over time. Hell, even the first season's pretty good, despite being not as good as season 2 and 3. The characters feel like, you know, people. Despite being a bit silly how we got from Nickel shitting on baseball to Metal Gear Solid 2 is definitely a jarring bit. It felt natural because the creators in the show kind of matured. Of course, it isn't entirely perfect. Salt and Pepper are characters. Despite everything, it's a genuinely solid experience. Even some of its weaker episodes are still pretty good. And hey, if you're new to the OC, I think it's a good place to start. Or Shape World, I don't know, I'm not your fucking dad. This month, Inanimate Sanity turns 14 years old, which is still pretty impressive. So, yeah, Inanimate Sanity is still really good. It is truly like Metal Gear Solid 2's Sons of Liberty.
Oh man, now that looks good. What are you doing? Where's the whipped cream going? I don't understand what's happening. Where? Not the peanuts. Why are you doing this? It's a caramel. Okay, that's okay. The caramel, we've got sprinkles and ice cream. We're good with that. You're not gonna take the sprinkles away? No.